of Jeremiah program. The first JP campus opened in Minneapolis 27 years ago. So welcome home. We're bringing together in this space the collective brilliance of over 450 people, made up of JP current moms, JP alumni, JP board members and staff, guest speakers, and community partners for single moms and their families.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Community Connections, airing right here on OROMIA11. I am your host, Anna Orr. And today I am talking to Chastity Lord. She is the CEO and president of the Jeremiah program, a nonprofit here in the Twin Cities that is helping mothers and their children break the cycle of poverty. We're also talking about a new initiative, an award that they are offering that is celebrating scholars here in Minnesota. This is going to be a good episode that you will definitely not want to miss. Chastity Lord, you are the CEO and president of the Jeremiah program. And welcome to, I just want to say welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Join me on Community Connection.
I appreciate it.
We are talking about some really exciting things taking place at the Jeremiah program. And as we get into that, I just want to start off sharing with our viewers, what is the work of the Jeremiah program for people that may be unfamiliar?
So the Jeremiah program is a national organization. It's in 9 cities across the country, but it actually started right here in the Twin Cities, in Minneapolis, about 27 years ago. It centers and supports single moms with small kids in pursuit of economic mobility. And the headline, and we do that through a 2-generational model. And a lot of times people say, so kind of what's the larger so what? You know, in our country, when we think about single moms, especially lower income, we oftentimes consciously or unconsciously ask them to put their head down and bet on their kids. And our program allows moms to have the conditions to pick their heads up, bet on themselves and bet on their kids, because we feel like we lose a generation that way. 100% of our moms are in college within 6 months of being with us. There's childcare, there's residential facilities, one-on-one coaching, career and workforce development. And just in 2025, we'll center and support a little under 500 moms and kids just here in the Twin Cities, and nationally over 2,000.
Now, you guys are specifically working with mothers and kids. Where did the focus from that going, instead of choosing fathers and their children, come from? Because I'm sure many people are going to watch this and ask, how did this become the focus?
I love that question, because I think a lot of times people have it and they just don't kind of put it out there. First and foremost, it's important to note that we support the fathers in the lives of our single moms, but we do focus on single moms. Most folks don't know. There's a recent report that just came out by the Urban Institute. It was just published April of 2025, and so really recent. 30% of families in this country are led by single parent households, 30%. 80% of those are led by single moms. And about over a third of those are lower income. And so it's where we can actually have the greatest impact. It's where the greatest need, it's where the trends are actually showing up. And a lot of times people say they think about the marital status, and the truth of the matter is the money, the math wasn't working when they're together, and it just got exponentially worse when they found themselves single and raising a small child. You know, child care is about 30% of a person's paycheck. Rent, about 50%. The math just doesn't math, and you really lose a generation. We know birth to 5 are just an incredible time during a child's life, and those are when you're making all of these incredible trade-offs, as well as summer. When you're thinking about right now, I have a young child I was sharing with you before, and you moms have typically, families across the country will understand this, is your kids are in school. And during the summer, they're not in school. That's an expense that isn't planned. You have to have, summer camps and, activities during the summer. And those are things we also provide for our 2,000 moms and kids across the country as well.
I think that's really important to make the distinction of why this focus is
Yep.
so important. And we know that statistically, when moms are going to school and taking the lead on these things, children usually follow.
Yep,
because
50%
they've seen
chance.
it.
Yep. And I think, I know I will also say this, and I think sometimes in an effort to be inclusive, we actually are become dilutive. And so we have to, where can we have the greatest return on investment? Where can we have the greatest focus? Where can the dollar actually go the farthest? And it's where the greatest need is. And it doesn't absolve the need for other things. It's just not what we do. And we kind of create a space for that. And so I really appreciate the question. And I think it's important for us to understand we can do kind of yes and.
Now, I know that the work you all are doing has the basis of a holistic approach
Yep.
when working with the moms and the kids. How have you seen this be successful versus maybe choosing another model?
The two-generational model is really important, and that's like kind of honoring the full unit of that family. I love to say there's a lot of programs, and it's not a critique. There's a lot of programs that want to work with children, but they don't want to have anything to do with the parent. Or there's a lot of programs that want to work with adult women, but they don't want to acknowledge that they actually have small children. And by us really kind of centering all of the identities, a mom's able to bring that to bear in everything. Every programming we have childcare for moms for their kids to come and participate. Anytime we ask moms to come in for coaching, there's backup childcare kind of options. In addition to that, we have programming at 8:30 at 9 p.m. at night, virtually a lot of times because that's when kids go to sleep. And so what does it allow us to do? It allows us to really center kind of all of the identities. But some of the data points that we're really proud of is our moms matriculate and persist and graduate 3 times the rate of non-traditional students in this country. And it's not just a JP mom, but the truth of the matter, if you say JP because it's lovingly Jeremiah program,
Absolutely.
is it's not just Jeremiah program, but when you allow a grown woman to bet on herself, she bets on herself in a really big way. She naturally dreams in 3. She dreams for herself. She dreams for her kids, but she also dreams for her community. If a mom is given her an opportunity to find herself in a classroom, to be able to kind of increase her income, to be able to increase her career trajectory, that highly influences the way that that child sees college within their narrative, but it also changes so much for the trajectory of that family, but also within that larger community.
Now, you spoke about some of the training you guys are offering to moms, educational training, job support, things like that. But what are some of the other programs and services that are being offered? I would love to hear maybe some information around the kids program as well as what the moms are encompassing, because we know having the daycare there is alleviating a stressor on moms, and they can solely focus on what's in front of them. But what are their scholars experiencing in the Jeremiah program?
So some of the things that the kids, I talked about summer camps, and I think that's really big because we know about summer melt. And so like during the summer kind of learning loss, we also know about the importance of experiential learning and the acquisition of vocabulary. And so a young person that's interested in soccer to be able to be in a space and place of a really focused soccer camp really changes their focus and their trajectory around thinking about the role that education plays within that. And so we do a lot around summer experience, and that can be a college tour for some of our middle school students, etc. Some of the other things we have emergency funds. And so when life happens, and life's all the time, how do we actually make sure our moms have access to the money for the ticket that they got, so it doesn't double, and so it doesn't cause a larger problem than it needs, or a flat tire or something. Those are the things that can cause you to lose time at work, to lose time in class. And something as simple as $75 could be really transformative, but coming up with that can really be challenging. And something I'm really proud of, I have a list of things, is a 529. And for some of you that may not know what the 529 program is, it is a college savings account. 66% of JP moms are participating in the 529 savings account. Are they saving enough for their kids to go to college? No. But the research says that it changes the way that a family talks about college and how a child sees themselves in that classroom. We deposit $100 into that account for every successful semester that a mom commits to. And so we are really, it's not just around gratitude, kind of finding a space where we're engaging with moms during a time of acute need. We're really pushing them on into a place of agency. How do they understand that the challenges and the inequities that they're seeing in their communities, that they're uniquely positioned to influence change within that? We talk to our moms about running for office, and not just big office. It's also around parent-teacher president. Now, how do you actually make sure all of these activities aren't happening at 10:15 in the morning? One of the ways you do that, you get women in there, get parents in there who actually are working. We talk to our moms around, they care about crime, they care about education, they care about housing, they care about healthcare. And a lot of those decisions are made at the local level, understanding that the district attorney race is typically run uncontested. How do you make sure that those elected officials understand your collective power? We know women are some of the biggest voters in our country, especially women with children. But how do we actually make sure that they stay informed and understand their agency and power in a different way? And so there's a lot there, but it's not just around the doing, it's around the fostering and helping moms understand their incredible influence, not just for themselves, but for their kids. And naturally, as I talked about, dreaming for their community.
I think that's very powerful. The focus for the Jeremiah program in 2025 is for you all to assist 2,000 moms and their kids across 9 campuses, including right here. What does it mean to you to see that work happening in real time?
It means a lot in 2025 because I think we're at this really interesting inflection point as a country and as a community where our identities are up for conversation in a way that many of us feel uncomfortable about, where we're engaging with what does it mean to be a woman, what rights and senses of agencies do we have for our bodies. We're engaging with the role of race in a different way. We're engaging with the role of inequities around hiring practices and a host of things. And so what does it mean for me in 2025? I think there's this really unique opportunity for us to understand that the Calvary isn't coming, that we really are the Calvary, that this whole idea of we're waiting for this moment for this leader to kind of impart this incredible voice onto us. I love to say, I know that Martin Luther King, the I Have a Dream speech was powerful, but it wouldn't have been as powerful if thousands and thousands of people weren't there on the mall. You actually need ordinary people to come together to be able to influence the extraordinary. And so one of the things we're doing right now in 2025 is making sure that moms have the moments where they need to exhale, that they have the moments to feel incredible senses of despair, but they also understand that they have to stay in the arena. They have to stay in the arena for themselves, for their families, but also the role that they play in their communities. And I will share with you that one of the things that makes JP so special for me is I would have been a JP kid, and my mom would have been a JP mom. And I don't share that through a lens of look at me, but I share that through the lens of the power of a generation. Like I am one generation away. I am one generation away from, Section 8, from, SNAP, from all of those things. And what happens when as a community we come together and create spaces for incredible moms, like most moms are, to not have to choose between themselves and their kids, for them to be able to do what they want to do, bet on themselves and bet on their families.
Now, I know someone at home is going to watch this and say, I think this is a program I could benefit from, or there is someone in my village and or network that could benefit from joining the Jeremiah program. How would they go about doing that if they're interested in maybe becoming one of the 2,000 moms and or scholars?
I would say first and foremost, to anybody that's watching, thank you. We rely heavily on the whispers, the insights, the love, the dreaming of our community to be able to give voice to moms kind of throughout our communities. And it's important for folks to remember to be patient. Just because you actually share the idea of Jeremiah program, it actually may not happen on your watch, but what you've done is you've planted the seed. And it might be a 2027 play, it might be a 2026 play. But if you go to jeremiahprogram.org, there's an opportunity to apply. The application is very simple. The first and foremost, you're going to go through an orientation to learn more about the program. You have, if you're in the Minnesota area, you have an opportunity. If you need housing, we have 2 and 3 bedroom apartments that you are eligible for. Child care centers there on campus that you can participate. If you have a housing situation that you feel great about, that you have a nana or a grandma or auntie who is helping you raise, we don't pull you out of that situation. We understand the power of that. There is a non-residential model that allows for that. But there is a community where you're able to see and hear yourself, and there is something powerful. I think the most powerful lever is the sisterhood. There can feel a sense of isolation where you have to wonder how you're going to do that. And the days that you feel low, being able to look across and see somebody, see yourself in someone can be very powerful. But the community that we're building is also equally as profound, for moms to pour into each other, to keep them in motion. And understand, like, parenting is hard. It's incredibly hard. But it just gets incredibly more challenging with the poverty tax. And we need to do better as a community. We need to do better as a country. But until we find out some of those solutions, we have to take care of each other and take care of each other in a little way. But jeremiahprogram.org, give voice to it, share the information, and be gentle and understand it may or may not happen on your watch, but let folks kind of continue to lean into it. And I think one of the things I want to folks to hear is, our campaign is You're a Great Mom, Become a JP Mom Too. We are really pushing against this framing of shame. I say I travel a lot, and sometimes when I'm on a plane and I'm talking about Jeremiah program, somebody asks me a question, and I'm feeling like, telling them, and I explain to them what the program is. I wait for it. They want to talk about parenting classes. And do you know, are there some moms that could use parenting classes? Yes. But you want to know something? My kid goes to school with some parents that need parenting classes too. And this whole idea that the quality of parenting is based on your bank account is really warped. But it is, if you want to cut me, I get feedback all day, every day, but question my parenting. And we do that for so many families just because of what's in their bank account or what isn't in their bank account. And one of the things we are really, really pushing on at Jeremiah program, and I hope you hear and it comes through, is your intrinsic power. I will bet on a grown woman with a small child any day, any day. And it's, when women win, moms win. When moms win, our communities win.
I think we've witnessed that personally. We've seen it on larger stages and small stages every day.
Oh, yeah.
That there are some amazing single mothers out here
yeah.
yielding some wonderful scholars, politicians, and beyond.
Marriages break up. Relationships end. Things happen. How are we going 30% of families in this country are led by single parents. 80% of them are single moms. This organization doesn't belong to Jeremiah program. It doesn't belong to the board. It doesn't belong to the 2,000 moms and kids we're serving. It belongs to our community. We need to understand we have to have a tool, a framework, an organization that meets the moment of life. When life happens, we stay present. We stay in conversation. We hold the community in this big way. And that group of people will come around and pay it forward in this great way, which plays into this event that we're having later on today, the Legacy Award. It's about kids of JP alumni moms, the kids of JP alumni moms. It makes me smile every time. And we are creating a Legacy Award for kids who are having a transformative impact in their families and their community. And it's playing with this whole idea that you engage with something during a time of acute need, typically never to be talked about again. And our goal is to have this sense of pride and for them to feel such pride in their moms and this decision making that they made and the influence that this great parent has had in their child's life. And we have a first, second, and third place winner. They're between the ages of 13 to 25. They're 3. And we are awarding funds into their 529 accounts. And 2 of the 3 are young men. And that's another thing that we're really pushing on, is this whole idea that young men, especially young men of color, are lost. Yeah, some are lost, but some are very clear on the North Star. And today's conversation is going to be about illuminating and amplifying these young men that have benefited from these incredible moms.
I think it's wonderful, one, that you mentioned the Legacy Award and that you guys are celebrating youth. I don't think we celebrate youth enough. I don't think that we believe that they have the power to change the world as children or as young people. We're waiting for them to graduate. We're waiting for them to finish law school. We're waiting for them to do all these different things. And it's like they're doing these things right now. And I think it's because they've had a lens to see some different things much closer than some adults.
And a lot of us are just looking for an opportunity to be proximate to something different. And in a lot of our programming at the organization, it's just around proximity. You can't dream things that you don't know exist. And oftentimes, depending on what's in your bank account, really influences what you're able to bump up against and what those dreams are. One of the young men who are finalists for today created a gratitude store at his school because there was so much bullying going on. And it's an opportunity to go in and actually kind of capture insights around gratitude and positive sayings. And so there's just these little things that young people are doing to actually influence culture, to influence possibility, camaraderie, and all these other things. And so it's big stuff, but it's also little stuff. It's around mindset. It's around this feeling of I am uniquely, not only is dreaming my birthright, not only is success my birthright, but also joy is my birthright. And I feel a sense of agency to actually facilitate that and actually kind of make that happen. And so I love that whole idea of that we don't celebrate young people enough because we fall in love with the destination and we forget the beauty in the journey, myself included sometimes.
Now, aside from the fireside chat that's going to take place and somebody being named the inaugural winner of the Legacy Award, what can people expect if they are attending or watching the live stream that'll be taking place?
Yeah, thanks for the reminder of that. And so the live stream will be, if you're looking for a warm fuzzy, it's a quick 40 minutes. What can they expect? They can expect to be able to sit down. We did 2 to 3 minute videos where we went into the lives of these young people. And so we hear from their coaches, from their teachers, for some of the letters of recommendations. And so there's these little vignettes that give you an opportunity to kind of step into the lives of these folks who are making a great impact in their families, but also their communities. But then you'll also expect a fireside chat where I am going to be in conversation with the moms and the kids themselves to just be able to reflect on what does it mean to be honored and celebrated for who you are now and not just who you're becoming. What does legacy mean to you? I mean, and so just really kind of explore some of those things. And so we underestimate the power of conversation. We underestimate the power of just being in community. At JP, we say community is a verb. And today, for that conversation on the 21st, you're going to see community in action.
My hope is that someone that is near the Graduate Hotel or that has opportunity to connect to Wi-Fi will stop and watch the live stream or join you all in person to hear about the work you guys are doing at the Jeremiah program, but also to see the amazing efforts that these kids have created out of their own minds and hearts in real time.
I appreciate that. And I also hope whoever's watching, the people, and I said whoever because I want to call on all of us, a call to action. This moment that we're in as a country and as a community is a call for us to all get proximate, to inequity, to get proximate to difference. And that means volunteering. And it's really, really important so us to understand inequity in a theoretical way, but for us to kind of bump up against it. And I talk about that a lot. It's also around talking about opportunities that are happening, whether it's nominating a JP Mom for a program like this or nominating someone for something. Opening doors for folks is also important. And the other thing is donating and making donations. And so oftentimes we want to pick which one, but 2025 demands us to be doers, door openers and donors. We have to collectively sign on to do all three. As I said earlier, I want a cavalry to come, but I got to whisper, and we are the cavalry.
Lastly, I'm going to have you look right in this camera and just give a personal invitation to viewers to not only check out your website, but also stay connected to the work you guys are doing. And if they can, to stop by the event taking place today.
So thank you so much for being with us today. I want to first invite you to be a part of our Jeremiah program community, whether you sign on to be a doer by volunteering and getting proximate. There's incredible opportunities. Talk about us, really invite, take us back to our houses of worship. You know, single parents in your family or in your lives that are looking for an opportunity to be seen, heard, and centered. Talk about the organization, but also make a donation. And I want to challenge you, don't pick three, pick one, really sign on to do all three. And if you are in the area, if you were sitting at your computer, if you are just wondering kind of what are we going to do in this moment, I'm not saying that today's conversation is the answer, but it is a part of the answer. We're going to invest. We're going to invest in the next generation, and we're going to build legacies. Thank you.
Unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for this episode of Community Connections. Thank you, Chastity, for joining me today and for stopping by and talking about the Legacy Award, but also the very poignant work you all are doing at the Jeremiah program.
Thank you for creating the conditions for me to share. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I hope that something that was said or done today you have found inspirational and or educational. Make sure that you connect with the amazing people at the Jeremiah program and that you share with your network the amazing work that they are doing and how you can benefit from the programs that they are offering. As always, I am your host, Anna Orr. This has been Community Connections, airing right here on OROMIA11. I look forward to connecting again with you soon.